After a 14-year legal battle, the government of France repaid to Jehovah's Witnesses more than $8 million. Here with us to discuss this development is Mr. Jean-Claude Pons, who is a member of the national headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses in France. So, Mr. Pons, could you briefly explain what happened?
Good afternoon, sir. The French government just returned to us 6 million euros, or little more than $8 million. This money was unjustly collected from us, and the reimbursement included interest and legal fees.
But why did the government claim this money?
In 1998, the government claimed that all the donations received by Jehovah's Witnesses between 1983 and 1996 be subjected to a 60% retroactive tax. Thus, the government claimed from Jehovah's Witnesses the payment of a huge amount of 45 million euros. No religious organization in France had ever faced such a crushing tax.
So how did Jehovah's Witnesses react?
We tried to find a solution with the tax official, but the government insisted that we pay the amount, the tax. Then we have to litigate this matter before various jurisdictions in France. At the end, we lost our case, and the only choice we had was to bring this matter before the European Court of Human Rights.
So what happened at the European Court?
The court found that by imposing such a tax, France was guilty of violating the freedom of religion of Jehovah's Witnesses. The court thus ordered France to remove all the consequences of the tax. This includes returning the funds, paying interest and legal fees. It is interesting to note that France was a founding member of the Council of Europe, and by the fact it is the first time that France is condemned for violating the freedom of religion.
Then how did the French government react?
What is surprising, at first, the French government ignored the decision and it continued to demand the payment of the tax. So a second judgment from the court was necessary. The judgment tells the government that the tax was illegal and could not be imposed to Jehovah's Witnesses.
But how would this tax be a violation of religious freedom of Jehovah's Witnesses?
Because it was so huge, it could have resulted in the liquidation of the Jehovah's Witnesses headquarters, and it would have been a major interference with our religious activities in France.
So finally, how do Jehovah's Witnesses feel about this case?
Jehovah's Witnesses are very happy that their right of freedom of religion has been protected by the European Court. You know, for years we have been misrepresented, quite often in the media, but this case shows that we are law-abiding citizens and that we are practicing an established religion. This is not only a victory for Jehovah's Witnesses, but also for the freedom of religion in France.
Thank you, Mr. Pons.